Now then, I have a little subject here called communication priorities. So if you got a fresh piece of paper, you might put at the top of it communication priorities. And then let me give you a little diagram here that I think was helpful for me in learning to zero in on communication and where it's the most important and how to divide it up. First of all, draw a circle about the size of a silver dollar somewhere on your paper, if you've seen a silver dollar lately, whatever. A couple of inches out from that one, draw another one. And then a couple of more inches out from that, draw another one. Something like that. I call these worlds of communication, communication priorities. On the inside circle, put number 1. This circle here is number 2. This one is number 3. And this outside is number 4. Now, on the inside circle, put family and close friends. Inside circle, family, close friends. We call that the inside world. That's your personal world, your private world. Okay? Now, number 2, I call this your work world. Your work, your job, your business, the office. Okay, that's your work world of communication. Third is the community. These are the schools, shops, the community. Number 4, I call the outside world. Outside your normal activity of family and business and community. Okay? Now, I've drawn this diagram just to call your attention to the importance of the various worlds of communication. First of all, there's the outside world. And just be a little more conscious of communicating for your own betterment and better life in communicating with people of other cultures. This could be another city, another state. It could be another country. Okay, outside of your normal area. And guess what? You've got to really try hard to communicate with people from various parts of the country, even our country. Yeah, they talk different down south, right? If you don't know what y'all means, you got to find out what y'all means, right? They talk about grits. You say, grits? I never heard of grits. What's grits, right? So we all need, right, to learn the language, the style, right, and the colloquialisms of different parts of the country, right? You have to communicate different with the New Yorkers, people in New Jersey, New York. They're a little more abrupt in their communication. They are. And that, a lot of times that's not just because they feel bad or they're gruff and mean. It's just because it's kind of the way of living. To get to work in New York, you have to push. Or you will not arrive. So guess what? If you push every morning, you become a little pushy, right? And usually that shows up in your conversation. I mean, some of it is just sort of part of the lifestyle. It really is. You sit down in a restaurant and the waitress says, yeah, what do you want? Now, see, you just got to learn to take that well. Right? And it isn't that she's mean. It's she's got, 99 million people to work on, right, or to wait on. And you just, now you just have to learn that. When I first went to New York, when people talked with each other, I thought they were angry, right? That they were mad that a fight's going to break out, right? I'm looking for cover. We're going to need some help here pretty soon. And I found out, no, that's just sort of normal. They always, go right at each other. That's just sort of part of the style. Now, if you don't understand how to communicate, right, and get along in another part of the country, sure enough, when you go traveling and so on, you'll get confused. okay? Now, even when you go to another country, take along a little dictionary and try to learn some of the words. I'll tell you what, it'll just go better. When you're in Paris, you learn a little French. The cab drivers and everybody will just give you a whole much better treatment if you just try. You don't have to speak the whole language, but if you just try, just try. Everybody appreciates when you try to speak their language. You try for a few words, right? And you'll get mixed up a little bit and, you know, probably be a, you know, a good joke on you, right, when you've mixed up some of your words. But that's kind of fun, right? You wind up with a hooker instead of a beer, right? I mean, you just because you missed the wrong word, right? But anyway, you just try. Just get out there and try. Communication is a lot of it is trial and an error. I say something and see how it registers. And, you know, if it's a little awkward and you give me a little help, and pretty soon we got this thing going. So communication in the outside world is just a matter of exerting more effort, being more pointed in your ability to try to communicate with somebody else. Things just go much better. Now, the community. That's a great place to be a little more interested than most people are in communicating. You've got to communicate with the variety of people in the community. Don't just know what's going on in your business. Know what's going on in other people's businesses. What's happening in your office and what's happening in your business and how are things going.